Hey guys, welcome back again. Today we're going to talk about another card from the 1989 Fleer set. Another one of my favorite errors. No, it's not the Billy Ripken. We did that one. The second best error in that set is the Randy Johnson error. Card number 381. That's his rookie card. 6'10", Randy Johnson, Hall of Fame pitcher. Played for like 4 different teams. I remember him being a Mariners pitcher. I was a Mariners fan at the time. So he's a cool guy. And, man, just a tall guy. And this card is just like the Billy Ripken. Kind of has some mystery to it. Several different variations. And I roll my eyes because it's kind of one of those things where we don't know how many variations there are. So Beckett recognizes about 5 different variations. So we got the Marlboro error, and that's where Randy Johnson is standing there, his rookie year. He's got a Coke sign over his right shoulder, but over his left shoulder in that little black area there, he has, and you can't see, the one I'm showing you here is just a blacked out version, but he has a Marlboro ad up there. Well, they couldn't allow a cigarette ad on a card, with kids pulling these out of packs. So Fleer scrambled to cover that up, and they tried several times. Once again, they just couldn't get it right the first time. So the Marlboro ad card came out. That was the original error. Beckett has it for $30, a Beckett value, a high book value. The corrected version ends up just being $2, but everything in between doesn't really have prices because there's so many of them. So they came out with a red tint where they kind of covered it up with like a box and has a red tint to it. You can still read it though. And then there's a green tint that's a little more rare. Then they have a black box error, and that, or variety, whatever. Just like the Billy Ripken where they put the black box over the bat. They also did it on this one, but they did do one more where they just did a blacked out version, where they just they took the whole area and colored it in with black, and that's kind of the one that makes the complete sets. If you go looking through your cards, that's probably the most common one you'll see is just the completely blacked out one, and that's kind of the one they stuck with. But there's a lot of collectors that say, hey, there's like 10 or more of these because of the red tint, the green tint. There's all these little tiny variations, different levels of visibility of the Marlboro one, and it's very exhausting, just like the Billy Ripken, where people claim that there's dozens and dozens of varieties. Oh, there's a little speck here, a little white speck here, yellow speck here, a little pink speck on the side. Those are all different varieties. No, they're not. They're just kind of some printing defects. But how many are actually available of actual varieties? Well, collectors say that there's like 10 or more. So I'll let you guys decide on that. PSA does recognize about 4 different varieties. They have the completely blacked out, partially obscured Marlboro ad on scoreboard. And then they have one that's just no classification at all. So underneath his name, there's just no classification. Which that part doesn't really make sense, because if it's corrected where there's no classification, then why do they have one that says completely blacked out? So I don't know what they're doing there, and that's fine. BGS does kind of do some classifications of colors where they'll say red tint and green tint. But just like PSA, there's still some different varieties that they'll put the same classification on, which I don't blame them. I mean, there's just too many of them out there to try and classify every single one. So they just kind of tag them in groups, and I think that's probably the smartest way of doing it. So that's it for the Marlboro error. There's a lot of fun to kind of look for the different varieties when you do them. Something a lot of people don't know about this card is it actually is an uncorrected error card, and that has nothing to do with the front of the card. On the back, in his minor league stats, it has the wrong amount of innings pitched, and it's such a small error. It's like, who really cares? So in 85, he pitched 27. Well, he actually pitched 27 and a third. And then the next year, it says he pitched 120. He actually pitched 119 and 2/3 innings. So they just rounded up the nearest inning. I don't really see the purpose of making that. I mean, that's such a little thing. But nonetheless, Besides the Marlboro error versions of this card, it also is an uncorrected error because of the back of it. Whew. So that's it for the Randy Johnson. Guys, we're going to talk about some more 89 Fleer errors. I think I'll make it on the next video. I'll kind of compile that because this is a pretty cool set for errors. And those are the kind of the big ones, the Billy Ripken. Check out that video if you haven't already seen it there. I did make a video about that. But that's the Randy Johnson. I appreciate you guys tuning in. And I hope you guys keep on watching. And I hope you're subscribing. And we'll have some more fun with these. And we'll see you next time.